why did you choose Ren'Py instead of other engines at the time to make Andy sick?
Like, I'm used to the program already, and it's faster. I know people are like, use Unity, have more freedom to do stuff, but I don't care, my brain's too tiny to figure it out.
Andy is Sick is a fan fiction novel inspired from the cover of Andy and Lele. Unlike the original game, which is made by using RPG Maker, this project was made on Ren'Py, a very common engine for visual novel makers. The story of Andy is Sick is very simple. The two siblings decide to stay in the apartment for a little longer after their first cannibalism practice, because Andrew gets sick and their escape plan is delayed until he gets better, which will be a while because Ashley is the only one taking care of him. This fan project was released on the occasion of Valentine's Day in 2024. I happened to discover it while browsing through the Coven subreddit, and at that time, it was probably the most decent Coven fan project you could ever get for free. However, it's not very well known for some reason. Guess we'll find out why when I get to interview its creator. One more thing, I know I'm supposed to interview Coven mod creators because it's literally the name of the series. And It's Sick is apparently not a Coven mod. It would be more accurate to call it a fan game, but overall it still falls under the interactive fiction category. So if I can invite the author to the interview and accept the invitation, then there's no reason to not make an episode for this Coven fan project. Enough yapping, let's get to the interview. Hello and welcome Zoomies to the cover of Andy and Lele mod creators interview. How are you feeling today?
Oh, I'm alright, just tired.
Okay. Can you introduce yourself a bit to the viewers?
I'm Zoomies, not Shroomies, and I made Andy is Sick, the visual novel. You know the one. If you don't, Congratulations.
Okay, so how and when did you find out the cover of Andy and Lele and what made you become a fan of it?
The first time I found TCOAAL, I was watching a Let's Play of a YouTuber on YouTube. I like to watch horror Let's Plays in the background while I do stuff. He played it, he finished it. I was like, that's a game and a half. And I went about my day. And then it came back into my life like a year later from a friend. They came up to me and was like, hello friend, I found this banned horror game I wanted to play with you. And I'm like, it's banned? Why? And they're like, the author got doxxed and I wanted to see the big whoop, and I know you play grotesque horror VNs and won't immediately disown me after I tell you I'm interested in this game. And I'm like, I so definitely play grotesque horror VNs, and out of all of them, you're trying to tell me that this is the one that got doxxed while Song of Cyan falsely accuses out there having monetization rights. And yeah, we played it and and it was it was not that big of a deal. And then we got invited to different servers and made friends with people and stuff like that. I like it. It dives into the topic of emotional incest in a fresh way, I think. Normally when people talk about the topic, it's romanticized or used to ridicule the victim going through that, and especially if they're a man. But this one makes it actually disturbing as is and goes into why stuff like that happens. Like the story, Ashley has some behavioral issues for whatever reason, and her parents clocked out of that because being a parent takes more than the bare minimum sometimes. They weren't ready for that. And then Andrew, they shoved the responsibility to him, so now he has to play the big brother and the friend and the dad, and he's only 10, so of course he failed. So Ashley didn't get the help she needed for whatever she's going through, so she couldn't make any meaningful connections except with Andrew. Now they're adults. Andrew's still trying to take care of Ashley and has codependent issues now, and Ashley has abandonment issues and thinks she's just counting down the seconds before Andrew hates her. And it is disturbing and icky, and it gits really bad if left unchecked, especially with Andrew possibly having to fill the boyfriend role in her life now, depending on what route you take. And yeah, horror things.
Yeah, I get it. That's a lot of interpretation and analysis just for one question, but thank you. I believe anyone after playing Andy is Sick can say that this fan project is definitely made by an Andrew and Ashley shipper. So are you really an Andrew and Ashley shipper? What do you like about these two characters so much that you created an entire visual novel for them? Besides just liking the overall game and the story a bit.
Overall, I I ship them as siblings, not like as boyfriend and girlfriend. Like, in a perfect ending, they just learn to love each other how they are and learn how to love themselves and take care of each other as a family. I just like the idea of them having a good day. The fan art for them is funny though.
Absolutely. So, when did you start making Andy is Sick?
My friend sent me some fan art on Twitter, and I was looking through the comments of that doodle and found an advertisement for a TCOAAL Valentine's Day art exchange. And I'm like, I make art. I can finally get that doodle of Andrew and Ashley having a good day like I always wanted. I mean, I could do it myself, but imagine if someone else did it? Like, I'm less likely to hate it that way because I didn't do it. So I applied to the art exchange and I got the assignment wanted a sick fic of Andrew being sick and Ashley taking care of them with nods safe for work elements towards the end. I had a month to do it, but if I were to write it, do the whole thing in writing, it would take me 6 months. And then I thought I'd draw a comic, but I'm too busy hating the first page to continue, so then I'm like, I can make illustrations, I can make dialogue, visual novels. So I made that, and I turned it in, and my secret Santee went AWOL, so I decided to share with anybody who wanted to read it so I didn't waste my life.
Wow. Did Andy is Sick became what you originally envisioned? Because this project was tied to a Valentine's Day event, but it doesn't really have anything related to Valentine's Day. Was it planned to be something different from the start, or that just how you wanted it to be?
That's how I wanted it to be. I was just following the prompt of the request.
Okay. Why did you choose RenPy instead of other engines at the time to make Andy is Sick?
I know the program and it's faster. That's it. I know people tell me to use Unity because I have more freedom to do more stuff, but my brain's too tiny to figure all that stuff out, so I just use RenPy, RPG Maker, stuff that's familiar until I can level up,
Right. I mean, I was at that time I can expect people to keep using RPG Maker instead of other engines, because RPG Maker is the engine that makes Andy Lele and other famous RPG games, and you went with RenPy, which is kind of refreshing, I suppose.
Yeah, I didn't need to use the moving around in a space part, at least for the story I was going for, so I could just use RenPy instead of RPG Maker.
So why the story in Andy is Sick takes place after the siblings' first cannibalism practice? Does that have anything to do with the request, or that's just your personal decision?
It's a personal decision. I thought it'd be easier story-wise if I kept them in one area instead of moving them from place to place. They could just stay there instead of maybe at their hotel or something. They're Ashley has to go to different places to get the stuff she needed. It's just simpler to work with this area.
Okay. How long did it take for you to animate those cutscenes in the game? Because I see that there's a lot of them, and are they videos being pushed into the engine, or are they just still frames, a lot of still frames?
A combination of all of that. I think there's 3 frames repeating, and then the rest of them are videos. And each of them took 2 to 5 hours, give or take, to finish.
All that for the giggle physics. It turns out really well though, honestly.
It's not. The After Effects, I used After Effects for the jiggle physics. Spexy scenes was hand-drawn using Clip Studio Paint.
Alright. So, what was the biggest issue that you faced when making Andy is Sick?
Implementing the videos, for some reason, they would just come out black for a while, and I couldn't figure out why until I did. But, yeah, I did. And I think, there's something else. It probably wasn't that important. Yeah, just implementing the videos.
Is that why in some part of the game you have to wait for a minute or 2 to get these animations loaded?
Yes, the first one that comes up is frame by frame, and for some reason it didn't work like I hoped it would, because I have to time it and such, so I decided to make it all still frames, so it's gonna take a while to load. But figure that out at another time.
Since Andy is Sick contains not safe for work stuff, did you add in those horny, flirty shitballs dialogues and adult cutscenes for personal fantasy and enjoyment, or was it a way for you to improve, practice your skills in writing, drawing, animating, and programming? Because I remember that in the middle of the sex scene, the narrator interrupted for a bit to say that writing all these sex scenes really validates how asexual I am. So did you just enjoy making not safe for work content, or was there a different reason for why you attempted to make this stuff? Was it tied to the request of the contest that you participated in?
Yes, it was. It wasn't so much a contest, it was like a art exchange. So like it was a secret Santa art exchange. I wasn't selling this or winning an award, so I just like had fun and made Ashley a crackhead to laugh along the way for the dialogue. In general, I'm a not safe for work artist who mostly does MLM art, but upon request I can do anything else. I have lines, of course, but like I can draw head if you want me to. I enjoy the idea of the journey and not the journey. The sex scene in my head is cinematic and pretty and aesthetic, and I'm like, I gotta get this down, this still's gonna be the one, it's gonna be funny, a magnum opus, and it never is, and usually when this happens I can be like, why am I here? Or when I can draw Shadow the Hedgehog in a French maid dress, I'm leaving, but I can't. I'm committed to this work. I gotta earn my doodle of them having a good day, so I just hate my life for like a whole month trying to finish this work, and it's coming out awful and lazy, and I'm not caring, because I just want it done. And we are where we are now. And I just like do little funny things along the way to help me through it. That was it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still probably entertaining enough.
Yes.
So, as we knew, the author of Coffee of Andy and Lily was doxxed, and one of the most believed theories is that the author was doxxed due to making the post-sex vision cutscene in the burial questionable route at the near end of episode 2. Even though that cutscene is not to romanticize incest as most people would accuse, the game and the author are still criticized to this day because of that cutscene, and because you made Andy is Sick, you literally made a not safe for work 18 plus version of Coffee of Andy and Lily. Did you ever get into some troubles or worry about getting into troubles for making this fan visual novel?
In terms of getting into trouble, not really. The worst criticism I got about the game was Ashley's ponytail is connected to her head. That's not how hair works, and that's it. I posted this on Archive of Our Own and Tumblr, and there's a general rule of don't read about works that go on there, and 9 times out of 10 that's followed. So yeah, that generally doesn't happen. But I am worried about the future projects I'm going to work on, because I do make safe for work stuff, and I'm worried there's going to be like the hunt for the slightest hint of perverted undertones, and it's going to be blown out of proportion. I'm not scared of being the dude that made the incest game as I am of something happening like, this dude drew a cute picture of 2 brothers hugging, this must be incest, you know? I just hope I'll be able to do both, like safe work or not safe for work, without being defined by this. I mean, I'm not that important. It's probably not going to happen, but you know.
Yeah, I understand the duality of the artist doing safe for work or not safe for work stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's just kind of, I guess, human nature. We enjoy both wholesome stuff and degenerate stuff. As long as it doesn't hurt anyone, then there's no need to, like, you know, go full hatred or something.
Definitely.
So, Andy is Sick was posted on, well, subreddit. As you said, it was also posted on AO3 and Tumblr too.
I think it was on subreddit. That's cool.
Wait, I think that was someone else.
How sweet.
Yeah, I think that was how I discovered your fan visual novel. Someone posted there. I thought it was you, honestly. So, anyway, even though it was, you know, posted on many platforms and pretty sure it got some attention, do you think that at that time people were hesitant to try out your fan project because of the not safe for work warning, or was it because your project contains not safe for work stuff, so people couldn't, you know, share it on bigger platforms and therefore get more attention to your project? Because Obviously, half of the Coven fandom love adult content of the game. I've seen people complaining about the hard work being overlooked by porn and all that, but Andy is Sick does contain some porn. Naturally, it would get some attention, but I feel like it never went anywhere. I'm just asking this because I can see a lot of effort was put into Andy is Sick, but it didn't go big. What do you think about this matter?
If you want to read it, do it. If you don't. Games should be fun. If you're not going to have fun playing, please don't. I'm not getting a cent out of any downloads, so the sum total, that matters a whole lot. Yeah, I don't care. Like, I'm not in their head, so I don't know why they download it, but I don't really care. You can, if you want to do it.
I mean, it was uploaded at Valentine's Day in 2024. That was around 3 or 4 months after the release of episode 2. At that time, the fandom was really much still very active, and people were still like having fun discussing a lot of stuff in the game, analyzing anything. And it would be such a good time for fan projects to blow up, but at that time we didn't have that many government mods or big animation projects. There are fan animation, but it wasn't until recently that an actual studio decided to do a serious animated series for the game, in case you don't know. And as you said before, Andy is Sick was a submission for an art exchange event on Twitter. What was the result of that event?
We all got our art. I got mine. My person drew Andrew and Ashley enjoying a bowl of ice cream, and it was really cute. And I had a good day, like I was hoping. It was great.
Nice.
Very nice.
So, do you have any future plans for Andy is Sick, or just any intention on making any other Coven project?
For Andy is Sick, I did want to make a sequel with Ashley literally going into Andrew's head and like seeing how them growing up really affected Andrew and his psyche, and how this codependent relationship really screwed him up. And the player can choose between pursuing their toxic relationship, abandoning the dynamics to do whatever Andrew wants, or changing the dynamics into something more healthy. I don't want to right now because I want some wholesome things in my life because American problems. But yeah, that's the plan for the future when I get to it.
Okay. Maybe you don't know this, but there was this modder who basically ported your fan visual novel into RPG Maker. Did you know about that?
I did. I 5% worked with him and he 95% did the work. Like, he just asked me some questions and for some artwork so he can do the thing, and then he just did the thing.
So is there any estimation on where it's gonna come out? Because I think the RPG Maker port is gonna be a nice addition to Coven Mods collection.
Yes. I can't give you a rough estimate. Yeah, I learned how to parallax map, which is a game changer, and is totally gonna help. So that'll cut some time. But otherwise, no, I don't know, maybe half a year, give or take.
After having finished this shitpost visual novel, can you share some advices to people out there who may want to make their own Coven fan game or fan project?
Make it fun. If it's all hard work and no play, it's not worth it. Take breaks, take your time. Yeah, just it's a little hobby thing, so don't stress over it, just have fun.
I think that's probably the most important thing. Okay, and lastly, where would you put Andy is Sick on a tier list? What rank would you give it?
I'd give it a solid C, for it is a shit post, but in my humble opinion, a well-constructed one.
Okay. And I think that's pretty much all the questions I want to ask you in this interview. Again, thank you, Zoomies, not Roomies, for coming to this interview today, even though it was kind of a messy one and we had rough starts. But, well, I think we did. Thank you for coming, and see you around.
Thank you too, man. You have a great one.
Yeah. And we are out.